this map, Roller Ramen. Dynamo is very strong at taking elbow. Bo is very good at covering snipe from afar, keeping yourself safe. I think, or I wouldn't be surprised if they go the Inkline one with no, not Inkline. What's the one with Inkjet? That one.
Is that Inkline? No, Inkline's the one with. You are correct about which one it is. Yeah, that's about what I expected. V-Dyna, new bow, new brush as well, and a stamper on the side of Dynabow, and on Ghost in a Bucket we have a slosher V brush, just a bunch of V weapons headed, and a pair of dualies. Right now both teams just fighting for zone control. Right now there's already so much yellow paint in the mix. Oh, they're trying to get the lovely sprinkler angle up there. It doesn't look like they managed to hit it, but me and my team found that earlier. You can lob a sprinkler onto the top dome above the zone and it can just stay there. Not a lot of weapons can push it out.
I mean, yeah, it's been very, very helpful, and I think overall Dynamo's gonna have a really strong comp difference, because the Dynamo plus Bow kind of shuts down the Bucket plus dualies. Make sure that they don't really want to do anything, make sure they can't really push forward without being threatened. The Kraken as well, getting chip damage and getting a kill before going down themselves. However, Goats in the Bucket trying not to go down, but now we see Dynamo kind of not worried too much, because, well, they are a little worried now, but with that Bow and the Dynamo in the backlines, they have a lot of space to work with. But unfortunately, if Goats in the Bucket can kind of close that space like Nil just did right there, getting a nice pick, and Woomy as well, they can just kind of squeeze out Dynabow, because like their weapons imply, they are very not slow moving, but a lot slower moving than Goats in the Bucket are.
Yeah, and they're also very susceptible to punishing if you are out of position, like we saw when Goats in a Bucket was able to get the pick on the Dynamo. But right now, they're the one with two people down, though they will take lead right here. The Dynamo utilizing that Inkjet to push the remaining two members back and buy time for the rest of the team to respawn. Great kill right there from the Dynamo user, getting back up on top, trying to paint as much as possible, get that Kraken in to potentially get another kill. They are able to do so, and then swiftly return out. Two down on the side of Ghost in a Bucket, and the penalty points from Dynamo are crabbing down very slowly. That crab might be helpful, but it just gets shredded by the Stamper and the Dynamo combo. God, I might have to steal this comp.
I mean, yeah, it works out. You can't build HP specials against this team, because guess what? Dynamo, Stamper, Bow does a lot of damage. Heck, even the Inkjet's doing some work as well, setting up for a nice triple kill for the side of Dynamo. And now, kind of where they need to start pushing up a little bit further with that Stamper, with that brush, is on this elbow. But they might not have to use it, as the Woomy's going down to a really, really well-placed Booyah Bomb. And now Dynamo just gotta hold on. You see the members of the Ghost in the Bucket just jumping in, trying to go in. Allegro in the zone with the whales, able to stop Woomy there for the assist as well to clean up, along with Nilla in the backlines as well. So Goats in the Bucket at the very, very end able to get back to, or get the zone back in their control. But now the question is, can they keep away Dynamo for long? Because they're going to have that Kraken, they're going to have that Inkjet, they're going to have Dynamo as well. And if all those get in, like you see right here, it could be a very, very easy retake.
Yeah, Inkjet isn't able to really prioritize the target it needs to, even with the new usage of adding health bars. I figured that would be a very helpful thing. Great kill on the jump right there, but the zone does not flip into the favor of Dynamo. That Kraken and Dynamo combo, they get one kill. Unfortunately, the Dynamo goes down right there, and the Kraken's going to have to fall back before they get splatted themselves. Those points are counting down, two down on either side. It once again is neutralized, but it is not flipping. Carlos doing an amazing job just holding the line right here. Is going to have to retreat. No, gets splatted in the zone. Flips. That is not what you want to see right now if you are on Goats in a Bucket, but they still have plenty of time, because there's still a lot of penalty points on the side of Dynamo. They force a jump out right there. Chud doing their best just to space out the members of Goats in a Bucket. Booyah Bomb ready, just waiting for them to group up together like they did right there before letting it rip. I am wondering what Dragon is doing. I've never seen Dynamos take these flanks before, but it's doing wonders for them. Typically, you have Dynamo playing on glass and then a little bit more in mid, if not up front, but they learned that they got punished last time when they did that, so they're just hanging off right here as the zone is just constantly flipping back and forth.
I mean, yeah, both these teams fighting for a lot of zone. Crab trying to go in alongside the Bucket. Unfortunately, one's going to go down. Woomy, very weak, staying alive. No, Lions able to get it with the explosion damage, able to get a nice pick. 49er with this Kraken. I like these Kraken just taking as much space as possible, forcing them back, making sure that Goats in the Bucket cannot get to the zone as we enter the final 30 seconds of the game. It is going to work out very much in their favor. As you see now, Goats in the Bucket, they kind of just have to, they kind of just have to hold forward as best as they can, kind of stay alive because they have the weapons to rush down. But Dynamo, like talk about the entire time, Dynamo, Bo kind of shuts that down. 2 members down on either side. Wumi with the crack or with the crab actually.
Oh no, the crab's not gonna allow the pace fast enough.
Left, yeah, you saw Carlos was right next to it. They went down. Nilla and Allegro also went down. So whether it be just unfortunate crab timing or just really good prioritization by Dynabow, making sure everyone else is dealt with, either way you look at it, solid game.
Very, very solid game one right there. It's still very possible. With how close that was, I would not be surprised if we go to a game 3 right here. We're seeing 49er, brilliant usage of that cooler after Kraken, just able to immediately just jump right out at the second that trouble was spawned. We're seeing right here, Carlos unfortunately goes down. Dynamo was quick to know that they can't really do anything about the crab. Even if they get a right angle, it won't do much. They have to prioritize the head it because that's where the paint is. And since they took down the head it, the crab didn't have enough time to paint the zone with it just counting down to 3 penalty points, and then the second those are gone, the game is over.
Yeah, I agree because like you mentioned in the game, the crab couldn't paint by itself, and shout out to Dragapult there again. We were saying the entire time, just kind of prioritizing the painters. Now, as we go to game number 2, Undertow Tower, where paint, while is necessary, is not the, how do you say, biggest priority, especially for tower control, right? You can get away with not a lot less, but you can get away with less paint prioritization and more taking space, because I feel like everyone knows this. First checkpoint doesn't even matter. That's gonna be gone in the first 10 seconds. Now watch me jinx it.
You're gonna see the first Undertow Spillway game that doesn't go past the first 20 points, kids. Watch it right here.
Yeah, but also I think the second checkpoint is really the biggest choke point here, and honestly I think that Dynabow, at least from the outset, has the weapons to do that. They have Booyah Bomb to cover the Greats. They have Inkjet. They have Kraken to go on the Uninkables. They have Dynamo being Dynamo. So I think they have just a really, really good comp for this. But they still have to win the game, as Ghosts in the Bucket are going to look to force at game number 3.
Yeah, basically no comp change except for the fact of a slight bow adjustment to V-bow and a switch to order brush right there, but very helpful with the zipcast. There's a lot of good zipcast points on this map. No changes on the side of Goats in the Bucket. Hey, they know what works well for them, and they're going to do as best they can. Right now, already early pick on Dynabow right now. That's exactly what Goats in the Bucket need. They need to reestablish paint right here, get control of mid. They're going to take an early lead on tower, but that doesn't really matter. They're looking for picks right now. They already got a cooler out on both sides. Wonderful usage. You get cooler in 5 swings now with Dynamo, and it is lovely. 3 down on the side of Goats in the Bucket while I'm just glazing my favorite weapon in the game, making that a delayed wipeout as that crab is picked off by the wonderful, wonderful zipcast right there.
Yeah, and I think what happened was for Goats in the Bucket, they played fast, but I feel like they played a bit recklessly, and that allowed them to go 3-4 members down. You see Dynabow are just trying to take control, because with their comp as a whole, with these two kind of one pseudo backliner and one actual backliner, they can play a lot slower. They can force Goats in the Bucket to push into them and kind of force the game to slow down. And so Goats in the Bucket tries to speed it up. They can get punished really easy. See right here, they're trying to push forward. They're trying to get into mid, but Dynamo plus Stamper plus Bo is doing everything they can to just make sure that doesn't happen. Like we talked about in the pregame, taking up control of that top right side. You saw the zipcaster there for just a second, just to kind of dissuade members, and so far it's working out. They got to the second checkpoint, even though they didn't break it just yet. That's a lot of damage done.
That is a lot of damage done. 2 specials on either side right here, though. But tower is moving back to mid. That is already a pick on the Dynamo on Dynabow right here. And Crab coming out and a Booyah Bomb, I think. Yeah, counter right onto the tower right now. Crab taking a very weird angle that you don't often see for Crab, but actually quite useful, able to get the respawning members. Good kill on Hawaiian right there by Wumi. They're doing their best to just stay alive right here. That sword in the backline is going to be a bit hard, and it does unfortunately pick them off. That zipcast is going to force the members of Ghost in the Bucket off tower. They're probably going to want to jump jump out right here. But it looks like they are able to just hold position right now. So weak, they do manage to get the kill. They've made it to checkpoint and have taken the lead.
Yeah, they've taken the lead, kind of forcing their way through, making sure that Dynamo and Bo are both very uncomfortable. You see Allegro trying to do brush things, but Dynamo says nah and shuts that down immediately, leaving only Carlos. So that will be the end of the push. But that was a great push. They kind of did what they needed to do. The crab got a lot of value. The bucket got in his positions. The brush did everything it can to kind of be a distraction. But now you gotta be worried of both the main weapons alongside the Zipcaster doing a lot of damage. Rumi going down, so no crab is going to be a bit of a hindrance to Ghost in the Bucket. It's just going to be Nilla on that top side fighting Chud on the Stamper, trying to get it, but not quite able to go just far enough to break through that checkpoint. 1 point away, able to get control of the lead. Very, very close though. 2 points to bring these two teams, but Ghost in the Bucket able to, at the very least, stop the push forward now and kind of work towards resetting it back to their advantage.
Yeah, right now we're just trying to get the tower back in mid. Crab tank being pushed around by the tower right here. Spots the Dynamo a little bit out of position, but it isn't going to be able to capitalize because there's just so much pain for them to move. It is able to get a kill on the bow right there, which is very, very helpful. Umi knows that you do not want to take that fight, friend. Do not charge that Dynamo and that Stamper. You are going to perish. Okay, yeah, though they jumped out. That was smart. Cooler back up, and now they can re-establish the push. Unfortunately, one member goes down right there, which is going to kill Momentum. Make that 3 down. Just like that. That is a wipeout. Dynamo.
Ooh.
They are down on a member right there, but they just, you know, baited all of the members of Goats in a Bucket into them. Like you said, they're comfortable with playing patient. They got lead. The only people who are going to panic right now are Goats in a Bucket. And as we see right now, 2 go down on the side of Dynamo, 3 down on the side of Goats in a Bucket, though. They are happy taking that trade as long as they stay in the lead and the tower keeps moving for them. V-Flick, unfortunately, doesn't get the kill like always.
I mean, yeah, I get to shout out Dynabow for kind of shutting down those pushes by kind of baiting goats in the bucket to kind of overextending and putting themselves in the bad spots. They got a kill. Guess what? They really did a great job of kind of stacking that up on one kill to another, and making sure that Goats in the Bucket stayed kind of staggered. But we see right here, too, going down for Dynabow. It may be opportunity that Goats in the Bucket looking for, but the Booyah Bomb on tower. Carlos staying alive, getting back on tower before you go to the bucket. You have to keep those strikes. You have to make sure that you keep Dynabow away from the tower. Unfortunately, Nilla's going to go down. Dynabow, no one near the tower. 20 seconds remaining. So if you're Dynabow, you can chill. You're going to have Booyah soon. You're going to have Whales relatively soon. You're going to have Zipcaster as well to kind of force those frontliners out. So you don't really have to force any fights, but they have broken through the checkpoint, so it can be really, really close. 3 points remaining. GG Booyah is going to be popping
the Zipcast as well.
The Zipcaster, however, says, I'm going to do this myself. And Dynabow, a very, very close win, I will say, versus Goats in the Bucket, but that will give them the set win 2-0.
Wonderful, wonderful team coordination and special usage at the end there by Dynabow. They were very comfortable playing patient, and I mean, that's something that a lot of teams like struggle with in this game, because like it is a game I've constantly talked about. You can't be hesitant in this game, but there's a difference between hesitancy and patience, and we saw that expertly demonstrated right here by Dynabow. They had the Zipcast, but instead of popping it as the seconds were climbing down here in the game, they knew they just needed to wait for that Booyah Bomb to come out, give them a little bit of cover, force them to scatter, and then they could pick off anybody if anybody still did jump on tower after that Booyah. If the Dynamo went down or anything like that, they just had every option covered because they had such great coordination and great special usage. Great job to both of the teams.
Yeah, but like we were saying earlier, Dynabow, they